November 1st, we have the Wright State Raid in Millette 033 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Tuesday, November 2nd, we have...
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba...
Please be done.
Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton, Dayton's right choice.
We're all working men around here.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. WWSU 1069. On the phone at 937-775-5555. And now it's time for the Raider Plug. Here are some events happening around campus for Monday, November 1st through Friday, November 5th. For more events and more information about these events, you can download the Cork app for free from the Google Play or App Store. On Monday, November 1st, we have the Wright State Raid in Millette 033 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Tuesday, November 2nd, we have Trivia Night at City Barbecue from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have UCIE Popcorn Tuesday at the UCIE office from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We have a Study Abroad open house 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in E190 Student Union. We have running at Alumni Tower from 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. And Tuesday Night Life Group at Ullman 109 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Wednesday, November 3rd, we have guest speaker Joyce Winters online from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Check Engage or the Cork app to RSVP. We have hiking at campus trails at Alumni Tower from 6 to 7 p.m. We have Magic the Gathering nights from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in Fawcett 204 and 210. On Thursday, November 4th, we have UCIE Convo Club at the UCIE office from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. We have running at Alumni Tower from 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. And we have Thursday Night Life Group at Allen 124 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Finally, on Friday, November 5th, we have Book Talk, Paul Lockhart's Firepower, How Weapons Shaped Warfare at Millette Hall, 4th floor lobby from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Get out there, get involved, and Raider up.
Yeah!
I'm Parker Testa. Welcome to The Perspective.
Stevenson sets it. Raiders take it! Wright State wins the match in 5 sets. Unbelievable performance here, and Wright State beats Dayton. They come into the FedEx Center here tonight and steal this one from the Dayton Flyers.
Delegate play calls to Jim Irsay for all I care.
So, Parker, did you get that Glock 3000?
No. Arr!
That's the most you thing I've ever heard. I'm a huge vanilla person. I'd trade Nelson Cruz for a tub of Neapolitan ice cream. And we'll get into that now.
Don't start that, please. Here's the problem I have with what you just said.
Is I'm highly competitive. If we're playing checkers, Parker, I want to beat you. Simple as that.
I'm just jumping in here, but whatever.
Coach of the Year, my ass.
Good afternoon, Raider Nation. Welcome in. This is The Perspective. Happy Friday, folks. Glad to have you along today. I have another quote for you all. It's from our good friend Scotty Kramer. It smells like female in here. Hope you all are having a great Friday. We got a heck of a show for y'all today. We're going to touch on some NFL. We're going to talk about my Colts, both the good and the bad, mostly the bad, but we'll touch on some good things too. I got a Week 8 NFL recap coming up, and we got an interview with our good friend Shay Neal. We'll touch on the Pacers and how they're terrible, and we will also recap Wright State Media Day here on campus. So appreciate you having along with us. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. If you are joining us on YouTube, you will notice something that is very different. We have a bit of a rebrand on our YouTube page, so really appreciate our good friend of the station, our marketing director, Anna Jones, for putting all that together. She does great work, so really appreciate her help with that. All right, let's get into it. Week 8 NFL action. Panthers-Falcons. Panthers beat the Falcons 19-13. I can't figure out the Falcons. I can't. Why did they look really good one week and then completely suck the next? Actually, you know what? That's pretty comparative to my Indianapolis Colts, but I digress. Matt Ryan, 146, a touchdown. Hubbard had 82 and a touchdown. Yeah, 82 and a touchdown. DJ Moore had 4 for 59. Defense looked great. That's the story there. Defense looked really good for Carolina. Bills-Dolphins, 26-11. Bills beat the Dolphins. Josh Allen, 249, 2 TDs. Josh Allen was also their leading rusher like normal. And Cole Beasley, seemingly Justin Turner lookalike here. 10 catches for 110 in that game as well. 49ers-Bears. 49ers beat the Bears like we all expected because the Bears are terrible. Garoppolo had 322. Deebo Samuel doing what Deebo does. Really awesome there. How did the Eagles put up 44? Granted, it's the Detroit Lions, and I feel bad for MCDC, but I thought the Eagles were bad. And apparently they are bad, and like Damian in studio said, the answer is it's the Detroit Lions. I really have no other explanation there, folks. Really don't. Here's one that's pretty interesting. Jets-Bengals last week. Jets beat the Bengals. I know this is going to hurt our good friend Shay Neal here in the studio. 34-31, the Jets beat the Bengals. The legacy of Mike White begins. Mike White, I don't know who the heck he is. I guess he went to Western Kentucky, and we'll get into the Colts-Jets game from last night here in a little bit, but Jets beat the Bengals. I don't know what Bengals are good. Bengals are a good team. But I don't know how you can lose to the Bears and the Jets and be considered a playoff team. I don't know how that happens. Really don't. Rams, Texans. Rams do what Rams do. Stafford had 3 TDs, rolling the Texans 38-22. Davis Mills had 300 yards. Really? Davis Mills has more neck than anybody I've ever seen, but he throws for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. So props to him, man. Really good. Really good. Patriots-Chargers. Patriots beat the Chargers 27-24. Adrian Phillips was he threw an interception. He picked off Herbert and wins the game there. And in Los Angeles last week against Brandon Staley's Chargers and Justin Herbert. So Seahawks beat the Jaguars 31-7. Lawrence had 238 and a touchdown. He threw it 54 times. 54 times. All right, Urban. If that's what you want to do, then go for it. But here's the deal. You ain't going to let a rookie quarterback throw for 54 times, and you only put up 7. You let Geno frickin' Smith beat you. He's been in the NFL for like 100 years. Come on. Broncos beat the Washington football team 17-10. Taylor Goat Heineke had 270 and a touchdown. I love Taylor Heineke. He's my dude. Love Taylor Heineke. Melvin Gordon had 10 for 47 and a TD. Here was the fun game. Saints beat the Buccaneers 36-27. Brady had 375, 4 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara had 19 for 61 and a touchdown. Okay, I'm curious now. What were Kamara's receiving stats? I want to know. I want to know. Oh, that's his career. I don't want his career. I want the game. Live radio, folks. Look at me messing stuff up. But he had 128 receiving yards on 10 catches against the Seahawks. That's unbelievable. Really unbelievable what Kamara is doing there in New Orleans. Because Lord knows they don't have a decent quarterback. So Kamara's got to pick up the slack, and he is certainly doing that. Alvin Kamara. It wasn't too great. 3 for 15. That's abysmal numbers compared to what we've seen from Kamara in the past. But whatever. I digress here. It tends to happen a lot on this show. I go off on tangents and forget what I was talking about. But whatever. Cowboys, Vikings. Cowboys beat the Vikings, improved to 6-1. Cooper Rush. Never heard of the guy, but he throws for 325, 2 TDs. Okay. If Jerry's happy with it, I don't care. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but if Jerry's good with it, I'm good with it, I guess. Chiefs, Giants. Chiefs are terrible, man. I don't know what happened to the Chiefs, but they're terrible. Mahomes, they won the game, but they're not a good team. They're terrible. Mahomes leads the NFL in interceptions. Okay, I'm going to say this real quick. And I know I'm going to get heat for it, but I don't care. Patrick Mahomes' family needs to stay the heck out of football. They need to stay the heck out of football because it is messing with Mahomes. And I'm not a Patrick Mahomes fan or a Chiefs fan, but it is messing up the NFL right now. Messing up the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs because Mahomes' family just needs to be quiet, stay out of his business, and just go. That's it. Leave Patrick Mahomes out of your problem. Jackson Mahomes, get off the damn field. Go up to the suite. Mahomes' family needs to stay off the field. Stay in your suite. Quit bothering Patrick because it's messing up his season. All right, I'm done. All right, here we go. Titans, Colts. My Indianapolis Colts lose to the Tennessee Titans last Sunday. 34-31. Needed to win that game. That's the moral of the story here. Needed to win it. You needed to win it. Why can't the secondary guard anybody? I could probably go out there and put up Cooper Kupp numbers this week against that secondary. God-awful. Terrible. All right, I'm going to use here's Frank Reich after his thoughts after that game on Sunday.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like.
Hold up. Live radio, folks. I'm sorry. Here is Frank Reich after that loss on Sunday afternoon.
It feels like you're putting a lot of this on you. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I could have managed it better at the end, with the screen call.
Yeah, what are you thinking there?
I just feel like as hard as we played, we committed
you played
some
real
penalties
hard, Frank. Real hard.
I think penalties are, I put that back on me. We talk a lot about it, and when we don't execute in that regard, we got too many penalties. Blame
the officials.
I think
That'll
took
help.
away some points, and I just feel like that's ultimately a reflection on me.
Oh, it's on you, Frank. It is absolutely on you. How about a screen pass, folks? Backed up to our own end zone. How about a screen pass? Because that's a fantastic idea. Fantastic idea. What about that, Frank? Here, what do you have to say?
Yeah, that was 100% my fault.
No kidding.
Call. Yeah, it was a screen to Mo, and they were sitting right on it. We hadn't thrown that. Didn't think they would ever be thinking that at that point in the game.
They're an NFL team. They're obviously thinking that.
To know that you don't call screen backed up in that situation.
No kidding.
I told Carson right after that play. He came over the sideline and said, "That's 100% my fault. That's a terrible play call.
Yeah.
Now just go make it right. Go
make it right, Frank. How do you do that? I've already touched on the play calls. But there's no way in hell you're calling a screen pass backed up on your own 5-yard line when you have a chance to win the game? Why? Why? I don't get it, Frank. And here's what I'm sick of. I'm sick of, oh, this is my fault. I take 100% of the blame. It's all on me. It's all on me. Yeah, it's on you, but there's a line there. There's an extent. Where does that line stop? When do you have to start blaming the players for making stupid mistakes? Why is Carson Wentz throwing that pass? Carson Wentz has been in the NFL too long to know that it is a bad play call. Why do you run the play? Audible to a run. Something. Do something. That's bad. All right, we're going to get to Colts-Jets last night because I have my own thoughts on this. All right, Colts beat the Jets last night 45-30. They put a hurting on the Jets in the first half. What happened in the second half? Frank, what happened in the second half? You lose Mike White early in the game. Josh Johnson comes in. He's been on like 16 NFL teams over 12 seasons or something like that. More of the story, he's been around. He's their third string quarterback. It's the damn Jets. Why are the Jets putting up 30 points on your defense? Matt? Hey, Matt. Why are the Jets putting up 30 points on your defense? Why? And I know you were up by a ton, but that is no reason to say, all right, let's just sit back here and take a break and not guard anybody. I'm just going to sit back and let them come back because that's what we're going to do, right? That's what we're doing, Matt. Huh? Good God. This is great. You win 45-30. Carson Wentz looked all right last night. Great. Jonathan Taylor did what he does. He had 172 yards. Awesome. And here's another thing. Not to go back to that game last week, but why is Carson Wentz throwing the ball 51 times? He should throw it 25 times, maybe 30 max. And why is Jonathan Taylor getting 16 carries? 16 carries to the second best running back in football. That is abysmal. Absolutely atrocious. They lost the game because they didn't give it to Taylor. Serious. That game should have never gone to overtime. They had the lead. They blew it. They go to overtime, and Randy Bullock kicks a field goal, wins the game for Tennessee. 16 carries, folks. You know how many he got last night? 19. But you know what he did with those 19? 172, 2 touchdowns. Great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But here's the problem. You lose the game because you don't give it to your players. Big-name players play in big-time situations. That's Jonathan Taylor. That's what the Colts need to be doing with Jonathan Taylor. And I love Michael Pittman, and he's great. And when Carson gets it to Michael Pittman, awesome. Love it, love it. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time situations. That's what you need Jonathan Taylor for, folks. That is what you need Taylor for. Absolutely need it. Absolutely need it. All right, I'm done, folks. We're going to take a break. Shay Neal with us next.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
AFReserve.com.
Hey everybody, this is Chaz Taylor at WWSU 106.9 FM. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WWSU 1069. And send us your requests at 937-775-5555.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Dad, I picked up your pills, made your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of everything. But are you taking care of yourself? Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute? When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can. But it's just as important to take time for yourself. AARP can help. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect.
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
If you love them enough to sit through their favorite boy band with them, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hello, I'm Samantha. In a quarter mile, get off of Interstate Corporate Radio by taking exit 106.9 FM towards WWSU Radio. It's Dayton's right exit.
Welcome in Mr. Shay Neal to this show. Shay, thanks for hanging out with us here on this Friday.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Obviously, this isn't my first rodeo on the show, but it's cool to make it with some of the great legends you've had on this program. So, if I can, if I'm in any conversation with the greats of like Jason Doyle and Dave Sims, I mean, it gives me hope for my future.
Trust me, mine too. And I've been fortunate enough to have some great people on this show. So, all right, Shay, we'll get right into it. You are in your first year as general manager here at the station. Kind of just give us a run through on what you do.
Well, it's a heck of a transition, I'll tell you that. Basically, what I do is babysit everyone else. I'm a glorified babysitter. But no, I oversee all the departments here at WWSU: music, marketing, engineering, programming, and sports, as well as try to go to as many events as possible, recruit for us, and try to have some fun along the way. But it's definitely a huge transition. I was a very shy kid that loved just only worrying about sports, and now I'm a kid that's forced to not be shy and can hardly ever worry about sports. So it's been a big jump, but it's been a fun experience, and I don't regret anything. So
yeah, you are also 2 years under your belt as the sports director here, and you've had some some great times. We've the stories I've heard from you are great.
None of them fit for air.
But you are also a sports broadcaster here with us, and you've been a sports broadcaster here for 3+ years. How has that really been something that has improved your college experience?
Well, I mean, I think I got into broadcasting because I was an athlete back in high school, and I tore up my shoulder and couldn't play anymore. But I was so passionate about sports, particularly baseball, that I wanted to find a way to keep that going. And my uncle got me into broadcasting, and it started off with just accidentally stumbling into Blake Sutherland, who was the sports director here, about halfway through my freshman year. He had me do an Oakland basketball game. And it was an insane rush, but it was also the time of my life. And so I think that it's really improved my college experience because it gave me that opportunity to not just be the typical commuter student that came to school, went to class, went home. It gave me a chance to make a ton of friends here. It gave me a chance to stand out and leave a legacy here. It gave me a chance to get to meet the president of the university, the athletic director of the university, all the great head coaches we have on campus. So the relationships I've built and the opportunities I've had, I mean, have made this experience 100 times what I could have imagined when I came to Wright State.
So you also have another job with our local ESPN Dayton affiliate, 1410 Wing AM.
Shout out to Kenner.
Shout out to Kenner, absolutely. Another former sports director here, allegedly.
We think.
But so I know I've asked you this before, but I just love your answer. How do the two stations compare? How is ESPN and WWSU differ other than obviously the name ESPN?
It's a great balance because I get to experience both sides of it, I think. Well, there's more than two sides to media, but I get to experience two very different sides with each of these stations, where when I'm at ESPN, I get the brand. I get the people just tune in because it's ESPN. I don't have to. I mean, I still do have to market and promote myself on ESPN, but there's a bunch of people that just tune into my show on ESPN because it's ESPN. And so it's cool to have that experience. Like I said, the coolest day of my life was when I got to change the Twitter handle to @ESPN Shay Neal.
Right.
Still,
I bet.
Feel like I pinch myself every morning when I check Twitter and that's there.
Yeah.
So that side of it is really cool because I get to see the branding side of it when you're with a big corporation like that, when you're with really talented people like Justin Kinner, like Kev Washington, like, we've gotten to interact with people like Tom Brenneman, Marty Brenneman, Tom Brenneman before, obviously.
Right. Everybody.
Marty Brenneman. We've had Jason Fitz on the show. We've had one of my favorite interactions ever. Probably the fun fact I always tell people about myself. We had Kevin Hart on the show, and I got to actually call him to get him on the line. So I've talked for about 15 seconds to Kevin Hart in my life, which is 15 more seconds than a lot of people have.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I think that side of it's really cool because it's kind of like me being the kid on Christmas morning that feels like I'm not waking up from like a dream. But at the same time, at ESPN, it's a lot of me being a yes man. I get told what to do. I have to do it that exact way. And that's fine. There's people that are above me at ESPN that have earned that right to tell somebody like me to do what they want. When I'm here, though, I get more creative freedom. I get to make content that I want to make. I get to call games the way I want to call games. I get to put together a portfolio the way I want to put together a portfolio. So I'm thankful for both because I get the brand at ESPN, and I have a lot of people now that are, kind of following what I do because of that experience, because they've accidentally stumbled across me on ESPN, and that's really cool. But at the same time, I'm very thankful for WWSU because it's allowed me to kind of get out of my shell and kind of learn things the hard way, learn things on my own, kind of put things together and really learn what my unique media style is.
Yeah, high expectations there at ESPN, especially when people tuning in, tuning out. You gotta grab those people while they're tuning in and tuning out.
Here, we care about ratings here, but here, we tell you to focus on the content. We tell you to focus on the quality. The ratings will come if you put out good quality. At ESPN, it's all about quality, or it's all about rating, and it's all about the content. It's like they don't care if it's absolutely flawless. If it doesn't get the ratings that they want, they don't want you doing it anymore. So it's very, very kind of, like I said, different experiences because when I clock in here, I'm like, I can mess around with this and, experiment with it. And if it doesn't work, it's no big deal. Where when I clock in over there, it's like, if this doesn't work, I get screamed at.
Right.
So It's definitely two very different experiences.
Yeah, for sure. What are your goals post secondary?
Okay. So I was kind of on the fence for a few years. Still kind of am a little bit, but The two roads I could see myself going down, I would love to be a play-by-play broadcaster. I think that's what I'm best at. I think that's what I do best. And then I would also love to have a sports talk show, which I do have one on the horizon. But so I spent most of high school saying, I'm going to go to a Fox affiliate and I'm going to have a sports talk show. And now I'm thinking more along the lines of just kind of going into broadcasting, see what I can do out of that. And then if it doesn't work, I can always fall back to a media affiliate and do a show or something like that. But straight out of college, I would love to be able to broadcast either baseball or basketball. I think that's what I'm best at. And I think that's kind of the route I want to go into, and hopefully maybe one day work up to maybe like, the NBA or the MLB. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. So here at Wright State, we have the the fortunate opportunity to work with with such a great athletic department. Going in, we're gonna hit on basketball here for a second. Going into this year, what do you expect from our very own Wright State Raiders?
Well, it's gonna be very different. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I will throw out there that shout out to Bob Grant, Nick Phillips, all of them.
Yeah.
I'm very excited that our spot is back courtside.
Yeah,
and
right.
and the media food is back, which anybody who knows me knows that I eat probably 7 times a day. So I will definitely be taking advantage, be getting there as soon as they open the doors, and I will have first crack at all that media food. So very excited for that. But as for the teams themselves, very different from a year ago, where the women are the defending conference champions, but it almost feels like that was an eternity ago because
Right.
it's a brand new coaching staff, a brand new roster.
Right.
For them, I really don't know
Yeah.
what I could say are my expectations for them. They come in the top 3. I think they have the culture. I think they have the talent to do that. If they come in the middle, I wouldn't be surprised because it's a lot of change. If they come towards the bottom of the conference, I wouldn't be surprised because it's a lot of change. So
Right.
really, they could end up anywhere between like 3rd and 10th, and I wouldn't be shocked.
No.
So I think they do find their way somewhere in the middle of that. Like I'm predicting somewhere between 5th and 8th. I think it's kind of my assumption.
Right.
But we really won't know until we see them on the court on Tuesday night against Bradley. But I will definitely be checking that out. And they have some good tests in non-conference against Xavier, against I believe Alabama. So they'll get a chance to learn very quickly. As for the guys, obviously losing Loud and Love. A little bit of alliteration there. I tried to say looting Loud and Love.
Yeah.
But losing Loud and Love, it's a huge loss. It's you could argue that's the greatest player in the history of this program. But the team still has all the talent in the world. Tim Finke, Tanner Holden, who was just named to the Lou Henson Award watch list, which is the best mid-major player in college basketball. Grant Basile, Trey Calvin. I love the additions of Keaton Norris and A.J. Braun, the freshman. Love the transfers of C.J. Wilborn and Riley Voss. This team has depth. This team has talent. This team has great coaching. This team is a championship contender. Are they number 1? I don't know. But I think they're definitely in that top 4, and I think they will be competing for a championship. And that's why I'm so excited for Tuesday night, because I think we're going to see the first game of what could be a championship team.
Yeah, I think what we got a chance to I got a chance to speak with Scott Nagy yesterday, and he talked about. I mean, we saw a lot of Riley Voss running with the first team. So will Riley Voss start? I don't know. We'll see on Tuesday night. But
absolutely, we really don't know. We know 4 of the 5 that will be there. We know Finke, Calvin, Basile, and Holden, but we don't know who's going to start. Is it going to be Wilborn? Is it going to be Voss? Is it going to be a sneaky candidate? Maybe Alex Hubricks? We don't know.
Yeah. So going back to broadcasting here for a second. You helped me get my start here in broadcasting, and walking into the Nutter Center that first night, it was. I mean, that the 2 days hence was just a whirlwind.
Yeah.
But you literally, I think
was your first game basketball?
Yes.
Yeah, because volleyball wasn't until spring.
Right.
So yeah, you did start with basketball.
So we did. You literally texted me 2 days before a game. It was a women's game against Bradley, the first one of the year, last December. And you literally texted me 2 days before the game, said, "Hey, we're doing this game Tuesday night. Be there at this time." And I'm thinking, what? No,
did you send this to the wrong person?
I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. No. And because what was supposed to happen was I was supposed to get a couple shadows and do a mock broadcast.
Yeah.
But you literally just, all right, threw me into the pool.
Yup.
see if I sunk or swam, and I sunk there for a solid while.
You treaded water.
You
kept your head above water.
Yeah. I'm still breathing here.
That's
today.
literally it's literally the story of survival in media. Just keep treading water, baby.
Right.
Just keep treading water.
Still sitting here breathing today. And I'm like to say I'm pretty good at swimming, but we'll see.
In the words of our great friend Jeremy Keller from across the hall, whenever I ask him how he's doing, he just always responds, "Still breathing." Amen, Jeremy. Amen.
Amen, Jeremy. There you go. And to quote Jerry Rice, I'd like to say I'm pretty good, but you're not going to hear me say that. And
you totally messed that up. I'd like to say I'm the best of all time. You don't have the humility. You have too much humility. You don't have your ego's not big enough yet for you to self-proclaim yourself as the GOAT.
I was paraphrasing here, but
okay.
Knock me down for Shay. Let's just pile on.
No. I'm saying you should have just read the quote off the. Clearly,
I didn't have it pulled up here.
Well, you've said in the past that your ego's gotten bigger in your experience here, and I mean, I'm with you. But clearly, it's not completely maximized yet because you didn't self-proclaim yourself the GOAT there. You still think there's room to grow.
There's still room to grow. I'm not the GOAT yet. We'll get there.
In the words of the wise Lil Baby, I'm not the GOAT, but I fit the description.
No, but walking into the Nutter Center for that first time, literally go into our booth, and you hand me a headset and say, we're on in 5 minutes. And
I only give you 5 minutes?
And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Is this real?
And then I think I ran to use the bathroom as soon as I said that. So I literally left you alone to be terrified.
Right. And I literally sat there with that headset on, all right, I can do this. And then you say 10 seconds. I'm like, I can't do this.
I can't do this.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
I'm going home.
I can't do this. Hello and welcome. And there we go. But that's pretty much how it went down.
And that's literally what we're gonna do on Tuesday night too. We're gonna be waiting for the countdown to go. We're just gonna be looking at it. We can't do this. Hello and welcome.
Here we go. Let's go. But
And I mean, you had such a unique experience for your entire first year of broadcasting games with no fans.
Right.
In the pandemic era, where I got the same kind of treatment where he was like, you were doing this game on this night, and I walk in and there's 8,000 fans in the Netter Center. I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that'll be very new.
It'll be a fun experience.
Very new.
It'll be very fun. And wait till you go to a road game. Like if we go to Highland Heights this year for NKU, they do not like you down there.
Oh, I'm used to it. So let's go. But well, even just walking into the Nutter Center yesterday for Media Day, walking out onto that court and looking up and seeing the banners on the rafters and seeing all the seats around in an empty arena was nerve-wracking then.
Yeah.
And so to say, I put out a tweet the other day, to say that I'm excited for Tuesday night is the understatement of the century. I cannot wait to experience a packed Nut House.
Like I said, I think Nick's opening the gate at 5:30. I will be there at 5:31. I might take the day off work here, go pick up my car because my car's going to be done on Tuesday. Go pick up my car, drive around the town all day, and then be at the Netter Center at 5:31.
Yeah.
I'll literally shoot Nick a text, open the door.
You go up there and just start banging on the door.
Let me in, Nick.
But right. So this has been fun, and I appreciate your time. I have a few more minutes here. Going in to scratch that. We're going to rework this here.
Okay.
I literally did no prep for our interview today because I figured
because we never do prep ever.
We never do prep ever. I literally have 10 words on my sheet right now for the whole show. And
it's just my name and my title.
Fact. But you've called a variety of different sports. And what for you is the most, I'm not going to say most difficult, but most challenging? Which one has the biggest learning curve early on? Because I know you've done baseball, you've done soccer, you've done football, you've done basketball.
I think it varies from person to person, and that's such a lame answer. But for me personally, I'd say soccer and volleyball were tough because for two different reasons. Volleyball has so much terminology that I just did not know.
Right.
I didn't know what a libero was when I called my first game on ESPN Plus, and I get a DM from the players' moms, and they're like, "Hey, you're a clown. You're clueless. What do you know?" I'm like, "Thanks, appreciate it."
Right.
And they're not wrong, but now I do know what a libero kind of. I know who's the libero on the roster. I still don't know exactly what they do.
Right.
But no, so the terminology of volleyball was definitely tough. But those players, those parents, they've been such a help of getting it down in the 2 years I've done it. I'm still not great at it, but I'm so much better than I was last year. And then as far as soccer goes, soccer is, I know the positions of soccer, but it's so fast paced. Literally, the clock never stops. So, and you're sitting up on a press box where you can't really see across from the field. So you don't know necessarily who has the ball, and you don't know. It's very similar. I think I've never done hockey before, but I feel like hockey would be very similar, where with soccer, I feel like I want to use the same word over and over again, and you have to think of different adjectives and stuff. Blah, 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 kicks it to blah, 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 who kicks it to kicks it.
Yeah.
Okay, like, let's think of something else here.
Right.
So I'd say soccer and volleyball have been the two toughest for me, but I know a lot of people that would say baseball, because baseball has a lot of time that you have to fill in between the action.
Right.
And that's very difficult for a lot of people. I think for me, my experience playing helps me kind of be like, okay, we can tell stories, we can talk about stats, we can talk about hometowns, all that kind of stuff. You can fill that information. But I know for a lot of people, young broadcasters who come in and are like, this is impossible. I have to come up with 30 seconds of information in between every pitch.
Right. And I have not done baseball, but I already know sitting here right now that is going to be
it's going to be tough.
Toughest
it's
part
tough.
about it.
Being a play-by-play guy in baseball is very hard.
And I have the utmost respect for guys like Don Arcello and Joe Davis and
so good
and those
at
guys
too.
who are really good at it.
And I mean, you've done basketball before, but I think basketball is challenging too because of how fast everything's happens. Where like we could be like making a point about how Wright State's struggling at the free throw line, and then all of a sudden you have to go. Holden has it top of the key, who swings it left to Calvin. Calvin fakes the three, drives inside, kicks it out. Basili in the corner fakes a three. Now they look over to Voss in the post. So
right.
That's practice for Tuesday, by the way.
Right.
But thank you.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
But
I mean, it's just so fast paced, and like you really don't get time to breathe. And as soon as like a timeout is called, or as soon as there's a foul or something, you'll see us look at each other and we're like.
Right. You sit there, and then we'll go to commercial. We'll sit there and we'll go.
Woo! I get through at least 3 bottles of water every game I do at the Netter Center.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And especially now that we're gonna have a loud arena.
Right.
You could have heard a pin drop in the Netter Center last year.
NKU Wright State games are so intense. It could be empty, and literally at the end of that game, you're like so amped up, and you're like, Calvin for the lead, got it.
Right.
And like so, like yeah, your voice is shot.
Right.
And then. Knowing that, 2 days later they play Cleveland State or something. All right, ready to rock again?
Yeah, let's go. And one thing that I've come to love most about doing this is the rush of doing this. The perfect example. This is so coming up here this winter. We have a day where the women played 11 or at 2:00. Men play at 7. There's a 45-minute flip between those two games.
Yep.
And literally last week.
We have the same 2 broadcasters for both games?
I will have to look, but I do not know. But
very hard if we do.
I think I know I am on both of those games that day. I don't know if we have 2 separate ones. I don't think we do for the second broadcaster. But like last week going to McLean last Friday night from Milwaukee. I literally left the post game or the pregame starts at 5:45. I left my house at 5:20. And I have 10 minutes to get. I have 20 minutes to get to McLean, to park, to set up the equipment. We're rolling. Let's go. And I think going back to what we talked about earlier and jumping right in that first basketball game, that's I think the most fun part about it. You get there, you show up, you have 5 minutes to prepare.
Yeah.
And then let's go.
And really, I think that can translate to a lot of different things in life, not just broadcasting.
Right.
But like my kind of mentality with everything is I have a lot of anxiety and I get in my own head a lot. Like I'm my own best friend, but I'm also my own biggest enemy. So my kind of approach to everything, especially broadcasting, is just do everything spontaneously and on the fly so that you don't have time to psych yourself out.
Right.
Where I go in and I'm like, all right, I have an interview with, for example, I did an interview with Chris Collins, and it's like, Okay, I'm not going to think about interview questions until about 30 minutes before I talk to them. Some people will look at me and be like, that is super unprofessional and lazy, and you should be fired for that. And I'm like, no, that's just because if I spent 2 days on it to make everything perfect, I'd get in my own head.
Right. And I think that it's very similar. When I first started this show, talking to those first few guests like Coach Sogard, like Dave Calabro, like Ryan Hawk, I would prepare the questions like a day or two before the interview. And I literally do it like 2 hours before every interview.
Do you really like that? Yeah, I was going to say. Because then, like, for example, like I made my sophomore year, the first year I was the full-time like play-by-play voice of basketball, I made an entire full script. Every single word I wanted to say in the pregame before the first game of the year. Wright State had just won the championship. Literally, I think I still have that in a notebook somewhere in my apartment. But it's like, welcome back, the defending champions take the court, blah, blah, blah. Here's all these stats. Here's all the starting lineups. Everything you need to know, word for word for word. And I did that while slacking off in a marketing class about 4 days before the game. But that's not important. Stay in school, kids, please. I spent the entire 3 days following that, heading up to the game, just staring at it every single second of the day while I was awake and being like, do I really like that? Is that really where I want it? Is that really where I want it? And I drove myself freaking crazy doing that. And now I'm like, look, I've done this long enough. I have faith in what I do. I'm confident that I'm talented. I'm confident that I do a good job. So I'm not going to get in my own head, and I'm not going to constantly nitpick every little thing. I'm just going to do what I know how to do. I'm going to try to do it at the highest level that I possibly can. And I'll let people tell me what they would change or what all that kind of stuff.
Right, and that's something that you told me is go back and listen to yourself and see where you can improve. And I know we both hate listening to ourselves on air. We hate.
I've gotten a little better at it. I don't hate myself as much as I used to.
Right, it's gotten better. And I know Damien's sitting in our studio right now. When you call your first few games, you're gonna hate it. I promise you're gonna hate it.
I played for you one time, my first ever podcast episode that I did my senior year of high school, and that literally doesn't even sound like me anymore. I was 17 years old. That doesn't even sound like me anymore because I voice crack like the fourth word of it, and every time I hear that, I literally like have acid reflux in my mouth.
Yeah, it's like me at Milwaukee on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So heck of a year in Wright State athletics coming up. Baseball.
We'll see you Tuesday.
We'll see you Tuesday. Yeah, this would be myself and
now that fans are allowed back, I mean, we're at that little black stage right in front of the court. You can't get back there to come up stage. They have security there, but you can walk right under it. We're right in that front row. Come say what's up to us. We'll be happy to talk to you. We'll be happy to show you what we do. Hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe if security's cool about it, if you really want to be on a pregame show or something, just talk about Wright State basketball. Talk about who's your favorite player to watch, all that kind of stuff. Just let us know.
Sure, absolutely. And Wright State athletics coming up, having a heck of a year of volleyball. Finishes out their season this week as well. Basketball's getting going. We have baseball coming up in the spring. I can't wait to see what Sogard and company do coming up here this spring.
Feeling they'll be good.
Oh, I think so. You think they're all right?
I don't know. They've had, a couple down years in a row, but I think they'll bounce back this year.
Yeah, just beat, made it to the regional and won the Horizon League championship and
Dude,
put up more.
They gave Tennessee their toughest fight too.
Put up more runs than any team in Wright State history, but that's not important. That's
We were so happy going into the bottom of the ninth of that game.
I know. Because we were literally sitting there that night.
I texted you when they were up like 8-5 or whatever, and I was like, Parker, you want to do a live reaction to this when we beat the number 3 team in the country?
Right, and then. Obviously, what happened, and then we get on this call and we're like, "All right, let's get this over with."
Fine.
I know we briefly considered not doing it anymore, but we did it. That video's on our YouTube channel somewhere. But
because Lord knows where.
If you want to see DeBrest and Shea and Parker after Wright State loses to Tennessee on a grand slam,
where would that even be? Because we didn't have the WWSU YouTube channel.
Yes, we did. Because we were doing Keep It Real.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
We were doing Keep It Real at that time because I remember.
Great show, by the way.
Great show.
Go find all those episodes on YouTube.
Great show. Maybe here towards the end of the year or after the end of the semester, we'll bring back Keep It Real for a few days because there's nothing better. I don't think I've done.
We should do a tier list of Keep It Real episodes. Keep It Real Inception.
We'll do a tier list of Keep It Real episodes on Keep It Real.
Facts.
Yeah.
Keep It Real Inception right there.
Facts.
A dream within a dream.
Right. But yeah. So one last question for you, Shay. Again, I can't thank you enough for your time today. We have we're both baseball guys. What's your take on these this year's playoffs? What did you see that you liked, you didn't like?
I'm happy. In the words of you on Twitter, I'm very happy that Charlie's dad won a ring.
Right.
Freddie Freeman needed a ring.
Right. And I think the guy that I'm most excited for is Ron Washington.
Yeah, Wash and Snicker. I mean, there's a lot of people in that organization that deserved it. I'm happy. As a Reds fan, former Red Adam Duvall won a ring. Happy for Austin Riley. I think he's a budding star. Dansby Swanson, cool guy. Ozzie Albies, cool guy. Travis d'Arnaud's been through a lot of injuries. There's just a lot of likable guys on that Braves team. But this I know, and I know you're the Dodgers fan that hopes that the Astros organization falls off the face of the planet. But I do want to see Dusty Baker win a ring before he retires and hangs it up. So that's kind of my hope. Hopefully he finds a different organization to win one with.
You said it, not me.
But I know that Dusty's kind of on the wrong side of 70 now, and won't make it many more years as a manager. I think he'll make it. He's in great shape. I think he'll make it many more years as a human being. But he's on the back half of his managerial career, so I hope he wins a ring. But very happy for the Braves. I thought it was a fun playoffs. My take couldn't have been more wrong. I said Brewers Rays. That was pathetically incorrect.
Yeah, I said Brewers. I think I said Brewers White Sox.
Yeah,
and that was wrong.
Another
too.
Pathetically incorrect. Every team that I think we picked was out in the DS.
Right. Right.
Yeah, it was a fun playoffs. Hopefully the Reds get back there next year, but knowing their ownership group, probably not, because they've already traded Tucker Barnhart. Nick Castellanos already has 1 foot out the door. So we're going to be trying to win next year with a lineup constructed of TJ Friedel and Aristides Aquino, but an 85-year-old Joey Votto, who I still love, but trade him. Well, I will say though, Jock Peterson seems to be the good luck charm for any team that wants to win.
Yeah.
He's a free agent now.
Yeah.
So whoever signs him is my pick to win it all next year.
Right.
Even if it's the Pirates.
Right. But
because he's got some voodoo magic working for him. But very happy. I think the Braves played a great year. I think they earned it, especially without Acuna. Just amazing what they were able to accomplish. I thought it was a team that was dead at the deadline. But amazing what they were able to accomplish. And just on a different note that isn't the playoffs, congratulations to Buster Posey on a heck of a career.
Absolutely.
Did not think he'd hang him up, but unbelievable career. Definitely the best catcher of my lifetime overall. I know there'll be some people that get upset and say, Yadi Molina couldn't hit like Buster could, and Buster was still a Gold Glove catcher.
Yeah.
Buster Posey, I think you could argue, is the second best offensive catcher of all time behind Piazza.
Right.
But Buster, future Hall of Famer, heck of a guy. Hated the Giants because they knocked out the Reds in the playoffs 2 times when I was a kid. But you can't hate Buster Posey. Heck of a dude, heck of a player, and congratulations on a great career.
Absolutely. One last question for you, Shay, here as we approach our 3 o'clock break. If you had advice for any, and I know you are.
Damien just stared at me. The first thing I'm going to say is you should never look to me for advice in any way.
and I
so
know,
Damien, look away.
And I know this is something. I've asked this of Pat Boylan of the Indiana Pacers, and I know he is early in his career. I know you are as well. But if you had any advice for some young broadcasters coming up now, what would it be?
I would say just the best thing I could do, the best thing I could offer is take a leap of faith and just go for it. Where I think myself personally was so paranoid to really take it to the next level because I was like, am I good enough? Am I too young? Obviously self-anxiety and self-pressure that I put on myself, but I spent a lot of my early portion of my career thinking I'm never going to be Joe Davis. I'm never going to be, Tony Romo. I'm never going to be Chris Collins or Jim Brown or whatever. So I think what you'll really learn and what I've learned over the last year or so is you just hit a new level when you just fully stop comparing yourself to other people and just focus on what you can accomplish and what you bring to the table. Where, like I said, I am so thankful for WWSU because it's allowed me to kind of invent my own style that I bring when I broadcast. And now that I know what that style is, I can focus on perfecting that style instead of comparing it to other people's styles. So I think that's the piece of advice I'd offer. Take that leap of faith. I was not a social kid. I'm still not a social kid. But you never really know what's out there for you. Where, I mean, it's crazy to think, but I mean, I'm competing right now for jobs out of college in places like Texas, Baltimore, Detroit, Denver. Like, it's crazy. It's a wild ride. You really don't know what comes next. But like you said earlier, just kind of, it's like a roller coaster. Just buckle in and try to enjoy it, because it's a wild ride, but it's a hell of a ride.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. And I think we're so fortunate here at Wright State to have such a great athletic department that
100%.
That consists of Nick Phillips and Joylyn Brown.
There's
and
so many
Brandon
schools.
Hayes and Bob Grant that are so lucky we are so lucky that they are as willing to help us as they are.
Amen. There's so many schools across the country, and I'm not going to name names, but there's so many schools across the country that the athletic department and the campus administration, for that matter, would not bat an eye in the direction of a student radio station or a student broadcast team. So people like BG, people like Joylyn, the fact that we can call him BG just speaks to the kind of person that he is.
Yeah.
But people like BG, people like Nick, people like, who give out their number and say, shoot me a text if you ever need anything. People like Joylyn, people like Jason Doyle. I mean, best support staff ever. Great coaches on campus. Allie Matters, Dan O'Keefe, Jake Slemker, unbelievable guy heading the men's soccer program. Travis Sobers with the women's soccer program. Carrie Hoffman. I can't wait to meet Carrie Hoffman. But so many outstanding coaches and outstanding administration here on campus, but so many outstanding people. And that allows us to put out our best work, I think.
Right, it does, and to where just me personally, I've had these experiences where Bob Grant literally walked up to me yesterday, shook my hand, and said, "Hi, Parker, how are you?" And that you won't get that anywhere else.
Right, exactly. I went to call an NCAA tournament game in Dallas my freshman year, and sitting courtside, and then Bob Grant comes up to me, has a seat. For some reason, Bob Grant's in the row behind me. I don't know how I got a better seat for an NCAA tournament game than Bob freaking Grant. But Bob Grant comes up to me about 15 minutes before tip. I'm just kind of like trying to lock in, stay in the zone. I'm 18 years old. I'm terrified because I'm sitting in, American Airlines Arena, about to watch Tennessee just absolutely put a butt whooping on Wright State. But Bob Grant comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, thank you for being here. Can I get you anything?" And I literally turned. I'm 18, like I said, and I was like, "You're Bob Grant. Can I get you anything?" I'm like, what are you thanking me for?
Right. But
most down to earth athletic director ever.
Right. And to have, it really goes back to that PSA mantra that Bob Grant has instilled on this entire program since he's been the athletic director. And he really preaches by that. He goes by that every day. And another example, we did Coaches and Coffee a few weeks back with Nate Metzger. Nate Metzger literally walks up to me, shakes my hand, and gives me a hug and goes, "How you doing?" Yeah. Shakes your hand. Happy to be here. People like that.
And literally walking up to the door, he pointed to you through the window and was like, "What's up?"
Yeah. I think Nate Metzger's the coolest coach on this campus.
It's a tough
and
debate.
That is not to discredit any coach on this campus because they're all awesome.
I was gonna
but
say,
I don't think there is a cooler guy on this campus.
We need to find
Nate
a way
Metzger.
we need to find a way to get Mr. Dan O'Keefe on Coaches and Coffee.
Right. We'll make
because I think Dan's a heck of an individual.
Well, yeah, no kidding. All right, so we'll take our top of the hour break. Shay, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, all right, folks. Thank you for hanging out with us over the last hour. Got another half hour coming up for you folks, so we'll be right back here on The Perspective.
I'm your host, Natalie, with Flying In with Nat, and you're listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton, Dayton's right choice. Or you can catch us online at WWSU1069.org.
If you love the Dayton scene, you'll love the Funk Box Experience sponsored by the Funk Music Hall of Fame. Join the Funky Reception to unveil this traveling interactive exhibit created to teach youth about the rhythms and impact of funk music. Enjoy funk tunes provided by Stan the Man Brooks, plus complimentary appetizers and Warped Wing root beer. The date and time for this event is Saturday, November 6th at 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Schuster Performing Arts Center in Dayton. Tickets are on sale for $20 on Eventbrite's website. We can't wait to see you there and get some funk music in your soul.
And now it's time for the Raider Plug. Here are some events happening around campus for Monday, November 1st through Friday, November 5th. For more events and more information about these events, you can download the Cork app for free from the Google Play or App Store. On Monday, November 1st, we have the Wright State Raid in Millette 033 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Tuesday, November 2nd, we have Trivia Night at City Barbecue from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have UCIE Popcorn Tuesday at the UCIE office from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We have a Study Abroad open house 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in E190 Student Union. We have running at Alumni Tower from 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. And Tuesday Night Life Group at Ullman 109 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Wednesday, November 3rd, we have guest speaker Joyce Winters online from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Check Engage or the Cork app to RSVP. We have hiking at campus trails at Alumni Tower from 6 to 7 p.m. We have Magic the Gathering nights from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in Fawcett 204 and 210. On Thursday, November 4th, we have UCIE Convo Club at the UCIE office from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. We have running at Alumni Tower from 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. And we have Thursday Night Life Group at Allen 124 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Finally, on Friday, November 5th, we have Book Talk, Paul Lockhart's Firepower, How Weapons Shaped Warfare at Millette Hall, 4th floor lobby from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Get out there, get involved, and Raider up.
Yeah. They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times. Number 1. Make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside. 2. Virtual play dates. Social and physical distancing can help save lives. 3. Tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. WWSU 1069. On the phone at 937-775-5555.
My mother was very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign and she wasn't even really sure where she was at.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Social distancing slows the spread of coronavirus. So if you have a fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going in. More info at coronavirus.gov. Let's all do our part because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Melissa from Michigan. I work an extra part-time job serving lunch at my child's school, but I still can't afford to put food on our table.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America. America Land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
If you love them enough to barely sleep, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're in the right car seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba,
please be done.
Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Anisha Hampton. I'm a business major here at Wright State, and you are listening to WWSU 106.9, Dayton's Right Choice.
All my friends know the low rider. The low rider is a little higher.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Perspective here on WWSU 106.9 FM. Again, can't thank Shay Neal enough for his time today for joining us. Great stuff from Shay today. Really appreciate his time as always. For the last 20-ish minutes we have here on this show, we're going to get into my Indiana Pacers and how bad they are, folks. Like we talked about a few weeks back, they lost on opening night to Ish Smith and the Charlotte Hornets, unfortunately. And then they go on to lose the second one. They beat the Heat in overtime, 102-91 on the 23rd of October. Lose to the defending champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. They played a great game. They lose to the Raptors. They lose to the Nets. They lose to the Raptors again. Then they win the last two, but who are those last two wins against? The San Antonio Spurs, who are not good, and the Knicks, who are the Knicks. So, great, whatever. Sabonis, you need to keep Sabonis around, man. So, but that dude can do everything. They need to keep Sabonis and they need to keep Turner. Really do, really do. Because here's the problem with the Pacers right now is they're not consistent. You need consistency. And I know it's going to take some time for Rick Carlisle and his staff to get adjusted, but you need consistency. You need consistency for this team. You do. So they got Portland coming up tonight in Portland at 10 o'clock. Here's what I don't get. I hate watching the West Coast games. I hate watching the West Coast games because here on the East Coast, you got to stay up to like 1 in the morning, especially I'm a Dodgers fan. Watching all those Dodgers games, you got to stay up to like 1 in the morning to finish the game. It's ridiculous. Whatever. I'm not an NBA scheduler, and it's probably a good thing that I'm not. But I can't thank you guys enough for joining us here on The Perspective on this Friday. Thank you all for joining us here if you are on our YouTube page. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us here on WWSU 106.9, whether you are in your car or on our website. Thank you for allowing me into your life for the hour or an hour and a half every Friday afternoon. I so greatly appreciate it. Even though a lot of my stuff is nonsense most of the time, I really appreciate you spending your Friday afternoons with me every week. So really appreciate your time as always. So the NBA action here over the last week or so. It's been a heck of a week in the NBA. I'm not an NBA fan. I frankly can't stand the NBA watching it because it's all just a bunch of fouls. And if you breathe on James Harden or LeBron James, it's a foul. It's ridiculous. I want the 80s NBA back where they're literally fighting each other on the court. Where can I get some of that? I want that back. Where's that? I want that back again. Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about that, but we have Pistons, Nets tonight. Pistons are 1-7. Nets are 5-3. Spurs are 2-6. Magic are 2-7. Spurs Magic tonight at 7. Wizards Grizzlies. Both those teams are 5-3. Cavs Raptors. Cavs are pretty good, man. I don't know how they do it, but the Cavs are all right. Bucks are 4-4. Knicks are 5-3. Bucks Knicks tonight at 7:30. We got the Clippers and the T-Wolves tonight as well. Both teams are 3-4. Warriors, Pelicans. The Warriors have found their way. They have found their way. Curry's averaging 26, as Curry does. Warriors are 6-1. Hornets, Knicks tonight as well at 10 o'clock. So got a heck of a weekend coming up here in the NBA. Really appreciate your guys' time this week and all weeks here on The Perspective on this great station. So all of our interviews are posted right after the show. This one's a little different since we did it live, so it'll probably be posted either this weekend or early next week sometime. So I can't thank you guys enough for listening today. Can't thank you enough for the guests that we have on this show. I don't know what just happened outside the studio here, but we're not going to talk about that. So to wrap up today, we'll talk a little bit about the NBA, what I have seen of it. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and recap Wright State Media Day. So we really appreciate your time here every week. We hope you like our new look. Here we have on our YouTube feed, got our great marketing director, Anna, created a orange logo for this show, and I really think it's awesome. She made the station logo orange. It's also awesome. So did a complete rebrand, and I put out a video this week of our voice crack there. My Lord, of a small clip here for the show. So with that, we got basketball season coming up, folks. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for basketball season. So I'm gonna play a quick promo here for our basketball season to welcome our new broadcast team to this station. So here's our promo for basketball season this year. Raider Nation, basketball season is back here at Wright State. We are so excited to be back at the Irvin J. Netter Center for another season of Raider basketball. We have a brand new broadcast team right here at WWSU 106.9 FM. Myself, Parker Testa, Shay Neal, Scotty Kramer, Sierra Lively, Rylan Brooks, and of course, Damian Kuchar. We are so excited to welcome you all back to the Nutter Center. Be sure to come say hi to us all season long. And if you can't be there, be sure to tune in to WWSU 106.9 FM to catch our coverage all year long of Raider basketball. Show out to the Nutter Center. Come say hi to us. Show your Raider pride and Raider up. Basketball season is back, folks. It's excited. We're excited. We hope you are too. It's going to be a blast. So I can't thank you guys enough for supporting us all year long here on WWSU 106.9. Be sure to catch our coverage of Lake Erie as they come to the Nutter Center and take on Scott Nagy and Wright State men's basketball coming up here on Tuesday night. Pregame show 6:45. Like we talked about earlier, myself, Shay, and Shay Neal on the call for you on Tuesday night from the Irvin J. Nutter Center. Fans are back, baby. It's exciting. Let's go. So can't thank everybody enough for hanging out with us all season long here on for volleyball season. Volleyball season wrapped up on Sunday when Wright State beat Green Bay on three straight. What am I trying to say here? They beat Green Bay, not in straight sets, but they had a heck of a weekend. Won 3 straight matches. That's what I was trying to say. Won 3 straight matches Thursday, Friday, Sunday this past weekend. Sam Ott with 49 kills over the course of the weekend. So it was awesome. It was real awesome. So again, can't thank Nick Phillips and the entirety of Wright State Athletics for allowing us to be inside McLean this season. Really appreciate it. Really do. So we have another promo for y'all today. And that is a promo that Shay has created for the game Tuesday night. So I really appreciate Shay doing this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So here's Shay's promo for Lake Erie coming up Tuesday night.
Raider Nation, it's basketball season once again, and it's time to jam-pack the Netter Center. Wright State men's basketball's first home game coming up on November 9th against the Lake Erie Storm. It's a new Big Three in town as the Raiders are led by first-team all-conference prediction Grant Basile, second-team all-conference guard Tanner Holden, and one of the best sharpshooters in the Horizon League, Tim Finke. Scott Nagy back at the helm as this team is championship or bust. And it starts with you jam-packing the Netter Center on November 9th against the Lake Erie Storm. You can also catch Parker Testa and myself calling the game on WWSU 106.9, starting with the pregame show at 6:45. Tip-off is at 7. Pack the Netter Center. Raider basketball is back.
Yeah, baby. If that doesn't get you hyped up for Raider basketball, I don't know what will. Let's go. Basketball season back. Yeah. We're going to have a lot of fun this year. It's going to be a blast. So, again, can't thank you enough for joining us all season long for Raider basketball. So, brand new broadcast team this year. We got 3 familiar faces and 3 new faces here to our team this year. So, and I apologize for those familiar faces, but I digress. Whatever. So, again, can't thank you guys enough for joining us here on The Perspective today. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're talking Raider basketball.
Hey guys, this is Sammy Evans. You are now listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Fairborn, Dayton, Dayton's right choice.
If you love the Dayton scene, you'll love the Funk Box Experience, sponsored by the Funk Music Hall of Fame. Join the Funky Reception to unveil this traveling interactive exhibit created to teach youth about the rhythms and impact of funk music. Enjoy funk tunes provided by Stan the Man Brooks, plus complimentary appetizers and Warped Wing root beer. The date and time for this event is Saturday, November 6th at 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Schuster Performing Arts Center in Dayton. Tickets are on sale for $20 on Eventbrite's website. We can't wait to see you there and get some funk music in your soul.
And now it's time for the Raider Plug. Here are some events happening around campus for Monday, November 1st through Friday, November 5th. For more events and more information about these events, you can download the Cork app for free from the Google Play or App Store. On Monday, November 1st, we have the Wright State Raid in Millette 033 from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. On Tuesday, November 2nd, we have Trivia Night at City Barbecue from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. We have UCIE Popcorn Tuesday at the UCIE office from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We have a Study Abroad open house 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. in E190 Student Union. We have Running at Alumni Tower from 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. And Tuesday Night Life Group at Ullman 109 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Wednesday, November 3rd, we have guest speaker Joyce Winters online from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Check Engage or the Cork app to RSVP. We have hiking at campus trails at Alumni Tower from 6 to 7 p.m. We have Magic the Gathering nights from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in Fawcett 204 and 210. On Thursday, November 4th, we have UCIE Convo Club at the UCIE office from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. We have Running at Alumni Tower from 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. And we have Thursday Night Life Group at Allen 124 from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Finally, on Friday, November 5th, we have Book Talk, Paul Lockhart's Firepower, How Weapons Shaped Warfare at Millette Hall, 4th floor lobby from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Get out there, get involved, and Raider up.
Yeah.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Chaz Taylor at WWSU 106.9 FM. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WWSU 1069. And send us your requests at 937-775-5555.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
AFReserve.com.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dad, I picked up your pills, made your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of everything. But are you taking care of yourself? Find free care guides at AARP.
One of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
My name is Daniel Hood, and I am a communication major at Wright State University. You are listening to WWSU 106.9 FM, Dane's Right Choice.
When the sun won't shine on the dark side of the town, you're out there looking for your paper crown. And you come to
shout out to Fly Sebastian right there. That song is by our good friend of the station, Blake Phillips of Fly Sebastian. So I'm On to You by Blake Phillips. Welcome back, everybody, to The Perspective here on WWSC 106.9. Can't thank you enough for hanging out with us today. Got here about 7 minutes left. We're going to touch on Wright State Media Day from yesterday. Wright State Media Day was yesterday at the Nutter Center. I got a chance to go, so can't thank Nick Phillips enough for that invitation. We got to talk to Coach Kerry Hoffman for a little bit. We got to talk to Scott Nagy. We got to talk to Bob Grant. Lots of fun yesterday. So real quickly, we're going to run through some clips from those interviews yesterday. So here is Scott Nagy on the starters returning from last year.
It's big. I mean, those are 4 very good players with a lot of college experience, and they're all sophomores, and a couple of them are 4th-year sophomores, so it's a little bit odd, but we do have a lot of experience, even though our team looks young. We are mostly freshmen and sophomores with a couple juniors, so there shouldn't be any surprises for them. We feel like we have a lot of other guys that fill in those other spots, and so we have a lot of options in terms of if we want to play big or play small.
No kidding, Coach. No kidding. You got those 4 returning starters are Tim Finke, Grant Basile, Tanner Holden, and there's one more. Who am I missing? Finke, Holden, Basile, and Trey Calvin. Trey Calvin is that last one. So you got 4 returning starters from last year. And then you have a couple transfers. C.J. Wilborn coming in from Milwaukee, and Riley Voss coming from Cornell. He's coming from Cornell. And speaking of Riley Voss, Scott Nagy had something to say about Riley Voss as well.
Yeah, he's, again, experienced, great passer, really good shooter, kind of an extra coach on the floor, very smart. And I think where he's going to be challenged, where he's got to help us, is the defense and the rebounding. But he just gives us a very stable guy out on the floor, and honestly, it's a guy offensively that's not out there just trying to score every time he touches the ball, which is pretty important in our offense. We just can't have it. We've already got enough aggressive scorers. We need a guy out there that gives us some balance.
Riley Voss coming in from Cornell. We went on to ask Scott Nagy about his smarts, and he said he's incredibly smart. And one of our other reporters there asked him if Cornell smart transfers to basketball, Wright State smart. And Coach Nagy said, well, I don't know. We'll have to find out. So great answer there from Coach Nagy on that. Here is Coach Nagy on Loudon Love.
Well, we're happy for him, really, and I think he's excited to have a new venue to play, and he's going to do a great job. I know he's going to be a great teammate. We all know that, and I think they're really going to enjoy him.
I thought he was heading to France, but he switched gears there.
He was there for a day.
It was one day, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
He was there for a day, and
it wasn't him.
Yeah, he didn't necessarily like what he saw, and so he came back home. He took a chance doing that, but I think he's glad he did.
Yeah.
Loudon Love, of course, drafted to the G League affiliate of the Dallas Mavericks, the Texas Legends. So again, congratulations to Loudon Love on that. Here's a quick funny story about this one. Our good friend Andre from 24/7 Now asked Coach Nagy what it's like going to be replacing the Mario and the Baby Yoda cutouts that were at the Nutter Center last year with actual people.
You're going to have to explain that to me.
You got real fans back in the Nutter Center this year.
So how are we going to, but you asked how I was going to replace what?
How's it going to feel replacing those cutouts with
real
people?
Okay, all right, I got you now. Well, it'll be great. It's been fun this fall watching football games and the excitement that's back in the stands, and I know our players are looking forward to that. It'll be a little odd to go on the road and face that kind of thing, but it definitely should get the juices flowing. It's one of the reasons why the guys play. It makes it exciting.
Yeah, really excited to get back to the Nutter Center coming up here next week. Again, I can't thank Coach Nagy enough for his time. We also got a chance to speak with new head coach of the women's basketball program, Carrie Hoffman. We got a chance to ask her about the home opener coming up here against Xavier day before Thanksgiving.
That one will probably hit home more than a couple away games that we start with being on this sideline, this home bench. I've been in here for games before, but on the opposing bench. And so that one will be a little bit different, where this is our arena, this is our team, this is our school, this is our program. I think that will hit home, and I'm really excited about it.
Of course, we are all very excited to see what Wright State women's basketball comes out and does, of course. So, again, we got the chance to speak with Mr. Bob Grant, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Bob Grant. Here's Bob Grant on having fans back at Wright State Nutter Center events.
I am super excited. There is a buzz around our office, a buzz around our staff. It feels like it's been many years since we had fans and a legit basketball atmosphere. So as much as we love the flat cutouts, we're glad they're gone to replaced by real people.
No kidding, BG. No kidding whatsoever. Again, I can't thank the time of Bob Grant. One last one. Bob Grant on Wright State volleyball.
Done an unbelievable job.
She's been fine.
Yeah, she's been okay. that was a hit. That was a good hit.
Yeah, Doug, what Allie has done with our volleyball program, and you're right, we don't get to talk about it and brag about it enough, is nothing short of miraculous. This is a program that was largely irrelevant within the Horizon League. Think about that. Right. And she has us now the bully on the block in the league, and I could make the argument one of the top 2 volleyball programs in the state of Ohio. And so you think about that.
Yeah, we're all thinking about it, PG. We're all thinking about it. They are a really, really good team. So, again, thank you, folks, for spending your hour and a half with me on this Friday afternoon. I also greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who has listened here this afternoon and all semester long, and even going back to February when we started this show. So, again, I can't thank you all enough for listening today and over the last few semesters, or the last few weeks, or the last semester. And so, again, thank you so much for all your support, as always. If you want to get in touch with the show, tell me I'm stupid, tell me I said something wrong, anything, you can follow me on Twitter, at Parker Testa. All of our interviews will be uploaded to YouTube not much longer after the show. The Perspective WWSC 1069 on YouTube again. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We will see you on Tuesday night. Wright State, Lake Erie, men's basketball. It's